Hi, I will show you today how to run Taiko inside Jenkins, and you will be able to see how I achieved this goal. I created a tutorial, so all the steps are here, and you just need to read it. Basically, what you need to you need to read all articles about Jenkins on my website, so you need to go through all these 6 lessons, just because without this you will not be able to install Jenkins, GitLab and Docker and connect them together. However, today I decided that I will show you how to connect them, because I already have the installations in place, so I will not waste my time to show you how to install them, but how to connect Jenkins, Docker and GitLab together, and then how to run Taiko inside of it to achieve the whole goal. So let's just switch to the command line, and now we can proceed with the installation. This is my GitLab and this is my Jenkins. We will proceed there in a moment, but now first of all we need to run it here. So we need to run the first script, the GitLab one, and now I will connect to the next one on a Jenkins. So before we will proceed, we need to wait till this command will execute properly, because here there is an SSL certificate generated, and the GitLab is reconfigured to use a new SSL certificate generated for this GitLab instance. So thanks to this, you will be able to create a certificate, and yeah, you can ignore the error for the let's encrypt. And now, because I'm using a self-signed certificate, now let's run the Jenkins. Now what it is going on here, so basically what it will try to do, it will try to get the certificate from the GitLab, and now I need to generate a pair of key ed25519 to connect my Jenkins and my Docker node. And this requires a passphrase, because then we can put this passphrase directly into the Jenkins credentials section. So I will put my password here. Once again, the passphrase here. Here we go, and it is generated. I will leave it as it is now, and now quickly go to Docker and run the Docker part. So this part will be quick, just because here it is only picking up the certificate for GitLab from GitLab, and it is adding to success to key store inside Java keys on a Docker node. So this is quite quick, and now we can minimize. So the next part is to go to Jenkins, and thanks this we can proceed there. Basically we need to create a connection between Jenkins and Docker node. So go to manage Jenkins, quickly go okay, I need to log in here. Okay, fine. So I will log in, Ctrl+Shift+V, and here we go. Jenkins logged me out automatically, so fine. Okay, so Jenkins, this is the basic dashboard. Click on manage Jenkins quickly, and then click on a node section, and after that click on the new node and call it Docker. And yeah, and then select a permanent agent. Here we go, create it. Now provide a description. Now number of executors, you can leave 1, but I will add 2 just to use it. Then root user, I explained this in a tutorial why. And now label, exactly the same, Docker. Why? If you will go to AWS Taiko project repository actually, and you will click on a Jenkins file, and then you can see that in agent section here I'm using a label Docker. So I decided on which the node run the test, right, and build a Docker container using a Docker file. And now the launch method. So now in the launch method we need to select launch agents via SSH. So here select this. The usage, leave as it is, use this node as much as it is possible. Now we need to provide a host, and this is the IP address of the Docker node. So in my case it will be, I will show you this you can use the IPA command or host name dash capital I 10.10.0.121. So let's provide it, and it will be 10.10.0 right, sorry, 10.10.0.121. And now this is the host, and thanks this you can achieve our goal. We will be able to connect to this section, and IP address is correct. Now we need to add a credential, so click on add and Jenkins, and quickly now you need to choose from kind from the drop down list SSH username with private key. So we will use this section. Now I leave as it empty, provide a username root, and here we go. Now then enter directly and click on this blue add, and then here what you need to do, you need to paste the private key copied from the Jenkins Docker ED25519 key. So basically what you need to do on a Jenkins machine, and I will do this, I will go to cd var lib then Jenkins and dot SSH var lib Jenkins is a default home directory for user Jenkins, and inside of the SSH directory there are two keys, so we need to provide the private key. So I will cut the content of this Jenkins Docker ED25519 just because this is my private key. So select it, Shift Ctrl C, go back quickly to this field, paste it here, provide a passphrase, and here we go. And after that, by the way, I will do this once again. Okay, fine. Now description, and the description should be something like ED25519 key, private key for a Docker node, something like that, because thanks this you know exactly what is going on. And I will turn off my camera for a moment. Here we go, you can see the blue button add, so just add the connection. Here we go, and now you need to select in credentials this thing, so you can see it stopped complaining. Known host verification strategy, leave this as it is. Then availability, keep this agent online as much as it is possible, and after that we need to select tool locations and environment variables. And now in this environment variables at Java home, like that, use capital symbols here, and now USR bin then Java. After that we need to go to the tools, click on add, and then provide just a path USR bin git. Here we go, and save the connection. What you need to do, you need to go to Docker and vim etc ssh sshd config file, and here we need to do something like this. We need to change this password authentication to yes. Then we will comment this out like that, and we will do this, and we will enable this systemctl restart sshd. Then go to Jenkins and ssh copy id-i, and I will provide this id. This is the one more time, Jenkins Docker public file to root at 10.10.0.121. What I did, I forgot to mention that I need to copy this key here. Here we go, and you can see the key is added, ssh-i, and the private key to root at 10.10.0.121. I should be able to connect. Here we go, and I'm connected in Control D to break it. The connection now should work. agent successfully connected and online. This is the crucial part. You need to copy the key from Jenkins to a root user on a Docker node. And now if we will click on build extractor status here, you can see the space is added for a root directory because we are using the root user. Okay, so now we need to revert changes in the sshd config. So vim etc sshd underscore config file, and after that we will comment out this and we will enable this, and now we will go to the password authentication and we will change it to no, and Control X to save it, and now we will perform systemctl restart and sshd, and that's it. Now we can test the connection. Okay, so this part is done actually. So in most cases we can then configure then Jenkins connection to actually GitLab. So we will do this in a moment. So now we need to configure a connection to our Jenkins. Okay, so thanks this we can connect Jenkins and GitLab. So basically we need to have a technical user, and I will create it. So we need to go to GitLab as an administrator. So basically I'm logged in, and you go to the admin area, and after that here you need to click on users, and you need to create a technical user. So click on new user, and then we need to modify it a little bit. So I will show you how to do this. First of all, we'll have to provide a user name and a password for this user. So basically this is something that is crucial. Without this you will not be able to achieve this goal. So what I really need to do is to understand how everything is working here. I'm talking about permissions and group, etc., etc., and I'm going to show you. So I will use the name Jenkins CLI or CI or something like that. Jenkins CI is username, and also so Control A C, and now go back to username and provide a username, and after that an email address. So I will use the existing one, admin@sysadmin dot info.pl, and you can see it is sending a link. So a link will be generated and sent to the user, and then user will be forced to set the password on first sign in. What is the problem here? You don't care about this. You skip this email actually, and what you have to do, you need to remember that in this case we are creating a regular user, not as an administrator. So this approach adheres to the principle of least privilege, which helps in minimizing security risk by granting only the necessary permissions required for Jenkins to perform its task. So thanks this we avoid the unnecessary privilege escalation. So just create user. And now if you want to set the password for this user, click once again on user, or you can click directly here on edit, and after that there is an option to provide a temporary password, a one-time password, because this password that you are setting here, then you will have to change after the first login of the Jenkins CI user. So I will provide it here, and now one more time. Here we go, and click Save Changes. Fantastic. So this is done, and now after that we need to set appropriate permission for this user. And the problem is that for permissions we are using groups in the GitLab. So basically what you need to do, you need to add this user to existing group or create a group, and then add the user to a group. So go to groups here, and I have the group here, and I will show you this in a moment, but now we will try to create a new one. I will not create a group, but I will show you how you can create a group from the scratch. So click on the new group, provide a name, and I will just provide a test group, for example, and then you can see it filled automatically. Skip this optional, and now there is something like a private, internal, and the public. So it is described. Leave this private as it is, for example. It depends actually on your needs. And then there is something like role. So if you will just scroll down, I mean, expand this drop-down list, and you can scroll down. There is an option that is set by default, developers plus maintainers, but you can only set maintainers if you want to. That's it. Roles allowed to create subgroups. Maintainers are allowed to create subgroups. So we can create a root group, and then maintainer is able to create a subgroup. So for example, developers, and inside developers, you can create a subgroup called testers, for example. Why not? And yeah, two-factor authentication grace period, 24 hours. Here we go. And we can then click create a group. I will click cancel because I don't want to create this group. I have a developers group already created. And this group, if I will click on manage access, has users. And here is very important information. Because you need to add this Jenkins user to this group. So yeah, create a group and invite a member. So click here and look for Jenkins in my case, and yeah, it's fine. Excellent. Now select a role, and I will set maintainer. Why? Because when you will set up developer, it will be fair enough, but there will be a problem then with creating a token on a project level. So we create two tokens. We create one for a user for the Jenkins CI, and then second on a project level for Jenkins file, for Jenkins pipeline. And then if you will set only the developer, this user, the technical user Jenkins CI, will not be able to create a token on a project level, and maintainer can do that. Okay, so invite, and you can provide expiration date, but I will skip this because this is my home lab. I don't want to expire anything here. Fine. So this Jenkins user is created. Now, this is the crucial part with changing the password. Sign out and try to log in as Jenkins-CI user with the temporary one-time password. Yeah, you're an administrator and you create a technical user, and then you change a password for a technical user as an administrator. Here we go, and now provide the current one-time password that you set as a root user, as an administrator. And now provide a permanent password for the Jenkins-CI user. And one more time. Sorry, I made a mistake. Here we go, and update the password. Now it will work. Choose the user from this list, Jenkins-CI, and after that provide this password, this one that you set permanently. I should be able to log in, and I'm logged in. Excellent. Now we need to create a GitLab API token for this technical account. So we need to click on this icon of this user, go to preferences or edit profile, doesn't matter. Then go to access tokens here. And after that, we need to create a new token. Add a new one and provide a token name. So will be Jenkins, and I will use this -CI token. Jenkins-CI token. get rid of this expiration date, and then we need to select proper permissions here. So we need to select API and read repository, because we only need read repository as this user. Create personal access token. Copy this token here, go back to the nodes, and now we need to add the GitLab API token in Jenkins. So click dashboard, then click manage Jenkins, then go to the system here, and after that scroll down a little bit, scroll down, and find this GitLab section, and yeah, provide in my case this is a GitLab host URL. So basically gitlab.sysadmin.homes, or you can provide also an IP address and like that. And then we need to click on add Jenkins, and then we need to provide something like the API token. So we need to add it. And well, fine. Now we need to select GitLab API token from this kind drop-down list. Here we go. Provide this API token, so Control V to paste it here, and ID leave as it is. And then we need to provide some kind of a description, so it will be Git lab or something like that, API token. But in my case, it is better to just copy this token name from the GitLab, so exactly you know that you're using the token from this GitLab, and it is easier to find it. Okay, here is the blue button add. Here we go, and then from the drop down list you have to click it here and choose GitLab API token here, and then click on the test connection to check is it working. You can see success, so it is working. Excellent, right? So this is something that at least we know we have done. And okay, click apply and then save, and this is actually generated properly and is working. Now we need to add a project level token in Jenkins, but one more time we need to go to our GitLab, and then we need to click this icon and click on repository AWX-Taiko, and you can ignore this warning, but instead what you need to do is to scroll down a little bit here. There are settings, and yeah, this is what I mentioned, that if you will set a developer role for this technical account, this option settings will not be available for this user, but because you set maintainer as I presented previously, now you have this settings option available here, so you can choose access tokens. And one more time, here we go, access tokens. Why it behaves this way? Okay, we can click settings like that, and now it will try to, okay, and this one will work. So it will expand, and then click access tokens and add a new token for a project, and we will call it Taiko-token, because we are creating a token for a project Taiko. Get rid of this expiration date, and now this is very crucial step, because after that we need to decide that we need to decide that we want to have a proper scope, and in this case we need to select read repository, but I recommend to select a role at least reporter, and basically it should be enough, but also it is good to select API just to have it working, but basically I will leave API not checked as it is, and I will check read repository only here, and actually it should work. So we can try, and okay, create project access token, and here we go, and copy this token here, and now go back to Jenkins, and now what you need to do, you need to click on manage Jenkins here, then go to credentials, and after that there is something like system. So you need to click here, and one more time here, and one more time click on this blue button, add credentials. And now this is very important. You are adding this project token as a username and a password. So in password, you click Ctrl V to paste this project token, this Taiko dash token. And then in username field, you will use something like this. Go to project, then scroll up, then click on manage, then click on members, and then you can see there is Taiko dash token here, and below there is some kind of strange string that you need to highlight to and copy it. So you can try to highlight it. It's really hard. Ctrl C and go back here and paste it as a project, but go to the end of the directory of this name of the string and get rid of this @ symbol. So leave only project as it is. Then ID, type Taiko dash token. Why? Because of this Taiko dash token is a name. So I try to keep the name for the reference. So I'm using exact names in Jenkins that exist in GitLab. Thanks this, I will be able to then find easily the token in GitLab and, for reference. Working. So we have two tokens, one for user, for technical user, and the second one for the project. Now it is working. Fantastic. So why this token for project is needed? I will explain this. Go to the GitLab, and after that, for example, go to this AWS Taiko repository, scroll down a little bit and open a Jenkins file. I will close this one. And now scroll a little bit, and now in this init container, there's something like credentials ID here, Taiko dash token. So I'm using a project token to get the repository from GitLab on a Docker node, and thanks this it will be executed. So Docker node will be able to connect to Jenkins, pick up this correct project token, and build a container using all this Jenkins pipeline. So it will build on a Docker node. Using a Docker file Taiko, it will build a Docker container, and inside this container there will be a Taiko installed and gauge. And thanks this, the test will run inside the Docker container. And after that, you can see this is the Docker file to build the Docker container. And go back here for a moment, and here, and go back to the Jenkins file, and at the end, when it will do the job, you can see it's building everything inside of it. And then we will take care of this export username and password, but in a moment. And I will scroll down a little bit. Here is an option, archive artifact. So it will compress the log and the HTML report from gauge, and it will save it as an archive inside the artifact inside the Jenkins job. So each time when the test is running, you're able to save it as an archive, and then download the archive to your computer, extract it, and see logs and see HTML report to see the status. Fantastic. So this is the way it works. Let's scroll up a little bit, and now we will take care of AWS user ID and AWS password ID. Why? Basically, what we need to do, we need to take care about this, because without this we will not be able to make it work. So we need to add these two values in Jenkins, and thanks this option, these environment variables defined here, Jenkins is able to pick up login and password for AWS web panel, and will use it to log in using the test. Actually, the test is just trying to open AWS website and put the login and password and check if the login successful. So it is in specs file, we have something like this. So login to AWS, after the login page is loaded, use credential, admin and password, click the login button, verify successful login and clear all tasks. And thanks to this specification is able to work because in the test directory we have the JavaScript and it contains all the functions, and here you have I commented out these two, and instead I decided that I will use this process.env.username. So thanks to this, it is able to pick up environment variables that are injected into the Docker container. Yeah, so we need to go back to Jenkins here. Go and in this credentials section, we need to add two things. We need to add it as a secret, and so in this you need to click here, and from the drop down list select a secret text and provide a secret. So it will be admin, just because admin is my username for AWS panel, and ID will be AWX then user, then one more time, user ID, AWX user ID, and Control A, Control C, and the same in the description. Create. One more time, we need to do exactly the same thing for a password for AWS for admin user. So choose from the kind a secret text, then provide a secret. And now I will open my password manager. And here I have in my K-Trace section, because AWS is running on my Kubernetes K-Trace cluster, Control C to copy the password for this user, paste it here, and ID will be AWX-password-ID. Control AC, and now paste it here. So thanks to this, we have achieved our goal. Click Create. Fantastic. So we did, and we now have all what we need in this credentials section. Go back to dashboard, and now it is a time to create a pipeline and create a job inside the Jenkins, because without this we will not be able to run our test. So let's quickly click new item, provide a Taiko as a name, and then choose a pipeline and select OK. Now it will create our job, and now in the description Taiko tests, for example, like that, and then scroll down to this pipeline section. Click on this pipeline script here and choose from the drop down list pipeline script from SCM. Excellent. Now we need to click on this SCM name, and from the drop down list choose Git. Excellent. Now we need to provide a repository URL. So go back to the repository, click on the project, and use something like a blue button code. Click on it and choose clone with HTTPS. So copy this URL here and paste it here. Now we need to provide credentials. So basically we need to select the API token for the project that we generated. So use this one, exactly, Taiko token. And now you can see it stopped complaining, so it is working. Now we need to select a branch. So go back here, and here in the branch you have something like main here, right? So go back here and set main as a branch name, branch specifier. Then leave everything as it is, and it should be done. And then click apply and save, and it is working now. Now it is time to build now, and click on this small icon. Now a small triangle will appear here, and then we can click on this number and choose the console output. So on this small triangle, small arrow. I don't know. It's just a bracket that is rotated, right? Okay, so this is now, you can see that it is working just like that. So it is picking all of it, and you can see it's building up now packages, and it's installing them and downloading them from the internet. And now it is building up the container actually. So you need to wait a little bit because it will then install all of it. And now there is a time to install npm and install npm packages. And in this place, in the next lesson, I will show you how to install these npm packages from the Nexus server that is, stored locally instead of from the internet, from npmjs.org website. So this part, you can see it takes a lot. It is much faster because you are downloading packages directly from the Nexus server. This is a local server that stores and caches the npm packages. So you are downloading it from a local npm cache instead the internet, and thanks this you have this part much faster. And now you can see it is installing everything. So then when you will rerun this test once again, the image will be just built and it is stored on a Docker node. So next time will be much faster, because in the first place it has to build a container and an image that will contain all of the needed packages. And after that, the second time and next time, third, fourth, etc., it will use an existing image. You can see past everything is working, success. There is no problem at all. So it is working like a charm, and that's it. There is no need to do anything else. And what I would like to show you, I will click on this browser, and this is my tutorial establishing SSH connection to Docker node. Actually, we don't need this step, and I will get rid of it probably, but I think that I will leave it. Sometimes there will be a problem and you will see something like error 128, etc. So sometimes there is a problem that the Jenkins that I presented, that is running the job, it is not able to just to run the job, to connect to GitLab and pick up everything. So basically from the Docker node or from the Jenkins server in the command line, you need to connect to a GitLab using ssh-t git, just to be sure that this is working. And I will show you this part because sometimes it solves the problem and it is a lifesaver. Okay, we'll clear this, and now we are logged as a user Jenkins, as a root on a Jenkins server. So I will switch to Jenkins, print working directory, and here I will use a command ssh then -T git at 10.10.0 and 119. And you can see it is asking for a password. Fantastic. Okay, so there is a connectivity. Control C. Then we will try the same thing as a root. ssh-t and git at 10.10.0 119. And here we go. You can see there is a connectivity. We can do exactly the same on a Docker. So ssh-t and git at 10.10.0 119, and it is asking for a password. So thanks this, there is a connectivity to a GitLab server from Jenkins and from Docker. This is a quite easy thing that you can perform a simple check. So that is why I added here in my tutorial. establishing SSH connection. So before running the pipeline job, establish an SSH connection from the root user on the Docker node, but also we can check this from the Jenkins user on a Jenkins server. This is very helpful. And yeah, we created Taiko and Gauch the script, we did it, and now you can eventually troubleshoot SSH settings and use Git for users in Docker, troubleshooting headless browser launch issues, and summary explanation. There's everything here. And what I would like to, I will scroll a little bit up. I would like to explain this because you can see here there is a headless mode. So the browser on a Docker container is starting in a headless mode. Why? Because on a Docker node, I don't have the graphical environment. I don't use X, just like that. I have only a clean SS terminal, clean command line, SSH server, and that's it. And I don't need a graphical environment to be able to run tests. And besides, thanks this, the virtual machine is just, you know, lighter and it consumes less space. That is why. And yeah, we can use this in a headless mode. So basically, we don't need any graphical environment to make it work and to run tests. And that's it actually, because I provided everything here: explanation, API token, project token, and it's explained why, how it differs. I provided a Taiko test example, so how you can use it. I provided test AWS specification file, so how it looks like. And I really recommend to read all of it and to understand how everything is working, because without this you will not be able to do this. And basically I really recommend to also watch my previous tutorial, set up and run automated browsers to test with Taiko, exploring the Taiko API, writing your first AWS test from scratch, enhance your first AWS test with Gauch and Taiko, and pushing your first Taiko project to GitLab and Nexus repository manager on Debian. I show here how to actually install a Nexus on a virtual machine. And then we will have a next lesson about using Nexus as a cache, NPM cache for our packages. And then the next lesson will be about one simple thing, actually, because here I already prepared it, and I will scroll down it quickly. And here you can see I'm using something like, here. I'm using something like a multi-choice resolve IP, and here is the multi-choice, so choose the server and choices, and here is something like IP mapping, not very convenient to make it work here, IP mapping that contains a list of servers that I want to test and their actually domain names, right, or IP addresses. So I want to connect to a proper service and test the logging panel, is it working correctly or not. And what is interesting that here you can then choose the username. So we have we can add more choices, because we can see here we have a single quotes, right, and Argo CD comma single quote. So now you need to add more choices here. Admin, I don't know, username as Adrian, for example, or test, or etc. So you can add more choices here in admin section. Then you will have to define more, so we can use username 1, password 1, username 2, password 2, etc, etc. So we can actually use variables here, and then in this section here below we will use username 1, username 2, so we will be able to run with credentials. So we can add more steps here, and also define these steps in functions inside the JavaScript file. And I don't want to show it anymore, but if you will scroll down, I'm talking about this. Actually about this. So username 1, password 1, username 2, password 2, etc., etc. So you're picking proper environment variables that are injected into the Docker container thanks this Jenkins pipeline. So exactly this section here need to be modified a little bit, and then this one I already presented here, right? So we are using a username and then credentials, ID, password. So we will have to modify it. So thanks this, we can then decide which test to run, because what is interesting that here you have something as specified, so you can exactly test which specifier to choose. And it's not a problem that you can also choose a server, username, specifier, and it should work. That's it. This is something that is really easy, and it's not a problem to make it work. Basically, the best idea and the best approach is to use all the time the same username, admin, everywhere. So only the password will be a variable that will change. That's it, right? I know it was a pretty long video, however, I decided that I will do something like this, right? So I hope you enjoyed this and you were enough patient to, do all those stuff and watch till the end and understand how everything is working here. So I wish you a good night or day. Take care. Bye bye.